Mega Man. The brothers going at it, and we are off.
As they search for quick stage to start out again.
Charlieboy having a little bit of menuing stage select flub, went quite around in a circle before he got to Quick Man.
It's surprising how hard it is to find the letter Q when the randomizer starts up and you're trying to read really fast and find that stage.
I can completely relate. I'm always expecting to see a particular robot master in a particular area, only to find out that my range of vision can go as far as like the size of the screen, and of course it's always the last place that you look.
Totally.
Where your robot master is.
Okay, so we've got bulletproof chain chompers. The birds are back. The shrimp are here, but they are one shot. So it's a mixed bag so far.
Yeah, once again, we're going to Quick Man stage because as far as items go, they're not as dependable, especially item 1. So zipping in here is usually not much of a question here. Also, the quick E-Tank in 1-Up is actually a pretty big boon, as these seeds can be really, really hectic, even on these easy mode settings.
Really interesting here. I think Squidman's made up a handful of frames on Charlie through this laser section, and there are ways to speed it up by a couple of frames per screen by doing some jumps to accelerate Mega Man's movement. You want to bonk your head on ceilings instead of just walking off platforms, and you also want to jump before you get to a platform so that your fall velocity when you get to the edge of that platform is faster. Squid got a couple more jumps, but you could see what kind of a difference it made. It really did actually make a difference.
Meanwhile, we find Flashman in Quickman's room. Little bit of a quick boy, but also very slow with the jumps. Also Buster weak, so both our boys wind up taking out Flashman very handily. Charlieboy still having a little bit of issues going through the stage select, finding Flashman a little bit slower than Squid as he begins his assault on Flash.
And there's those Robo Chickens again. We're not going to see quite yet if they're... There we go. They look like 3 shots, I think.
I want to see it was 2. Well, regardless of the matter, they both checked the walls. They're not Buster weak this seed either, so Buster's out of the question as far as the walls go.
And that looked like a 3-shot Joe, maybe. See, this is the stage where usually I'm trying to shoot everything. Even as you're like falling down the screen Squid is on right now, you try to shoot whatever's going to be on that screen, just so that you learn. Maybe I can find out if something's bulletproof, or I can find out if something dies to 1 shot. You want to do everything you can to learn about the enemies in the game for when you see them in later stages.
Yeah, excuse me. It's not too surprising to kind of get as much information about how much energy it takes as far as using your limit, because you're going to be using your Buster a lot and trying to find out as much information on how much an enemy can take so you know when to possibly switch weapons or not. Anyway,
we got Crash in the Flash room again. Oh, but he's kind of not... He likes to go for a little walk after he fires a Crash Bomb.
We got a slight dumb crash on our hands. Just a slight.
And he is Buster weak. Ooh, they take him out. We've got some sync here. That is awesome.
And we do actually find out items for our trouble, and it's item 1 this time around. We got a very early and potentially good item on the way.
And yeah, we're going to Bubble, so yeah, this will be really interesting to see what that item 1 does. How does it behave? Charlie tests it right away. And so he knows that it moves, but it is a slow rising item 1, and it disappears fairly quickly. So there's not going to be a lot of zips that are going to happen with that.
Yeah, you probably had to do a lot of finagling with it in order to try to do any kind of maybe low ceiling zips. But even then, that can be a very, very annoying thing to try to do.
Yeah, like I think the metal zip is out with that item. At least for me it would be. I would just skip right past it. Some of the other zips where you need to get pushed into a ceiling by the item 1, likely not going to happen in this seed.
Well, we're going to find out in a little while. I know Charlieboy usually likes to try to do these kinds of zips with item 1, so we're gonna see if Charlieboy is gonna make the effort to do it. Speaking of zips, we do see both our guys do the Buster only pause buffering, the pause buffer zips, so that's good for them, and they're on their way towards Bubble Man room.
And you see Squidman doing that pause buffer over that middle pit area. This is an area with copters, and if the shot man is on that screen, that can actually be really scary.
So we find Woodman in Bubble Man's room.
It's underwater Woodman. Is it like Algae Man then?
More like a floating log or sinking log, depending on preference. But this is a relatively weak log, as he's pretty Buster weak. But Charlieboy opts to use the E-Tank. Must have had quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, he was on low health. Yeah, I think that was probably a good move. Better to take the E-Tank than die. And there Squid tested his item 1 because he hadn't seen it yet. And see, he's going to skip right past because that item 1 is really hard to zip with.
Well, we got ourselves some Sky Chickens in Airman stage as Charlieboy is... Yeah, these are not the kind of birds you want to see in the air.
No. This is not an ideal situation because, like we said, those are not one-shot chickens. They're 2 or 3. And when you're trying to go on these platforms, oof, just like that, they will show up. Even though there's always one chicken on the screen, they still show up in horrible places at horrible times.
Well, Charlieboy is making quite a use of the leash shield, even though it's inverted horizontally. That's a randomized attribute, by the way.
Yeah, there were some surprise fat fans for Squidman in Metal Stage. He's got so much experience that he knows to pause buffer over certain pits. But yeah, sometimes you'll be in the air over a pit and a fat fan shows up on the other side and you go, hey, what happened?
But that's the experience that Squidman plays. He makes short work of Metal Man stage, about to see what's in Metal Man's room, as Charlieboy is about to start his way toward the second half of Airman stage.
Quickman on a conveyor can be pretty tricky, and he's Buster strong, I guess. Not Buster weak, but Buster strong.
And of course, just to emphasize, what we mean by Buster weak, we technically mean Salt weak, as in each Buster shot does about 4 units of damage, as opposed to the standard 2 that you probably would see on some other Robot Masters.
Squid finds item 2, so he's got 1 and 2 right now. And he's going to go to air. I think that's a good choice.
So with good item 2 use, especially considering what the first half has, this could catch quite a bit of time on Charlieboy. As we
have
find
air in air. Audience, is this even randomized?
Why me?
You all did it, right? We'll never know.
But yeah, the ad was an example of a Buster weak boss, because air went down extremely quick as Charlieboy decides to go to crash, and as I was expecting, he's gonna try to use item 1 and does it.
Yeah, he gets it. Charlie knows the item 1 zips in crash. I think in both screens too. I think he likes to do it in this first screen. A lot of us do it in the second screen, but it doesn't matter as long as you get the zip.
And if Charlieboy successfully does this zip, he's able to get to the midpoint, he's able to skip the moving platform sections, and he's about to go to the midpoint, like so. So that's quite a bit of a time save, and don't have to worry about some of the potential shenanigans that Crash Man stage can hold, especially with those moving platform sections. So we got Squidman going to Airman's room, where he's gonna fight Airman.
So at this point, though, Charlie doesn't have item 3, so he's just gonna climb the ladders just kind of a vanilla kind of way. And Airman goes down real fast because he's Buster weak.
and he decides to follow suit and go to Crash. We're gonna see what Squidman has in mind. Honestly, considering what we've seen so far, I'm kind of surprised that no one tries to go for Woodman early, especially since we don't know where Item 3 is. For all we know, Item 3 could be locked in Woodman stage.
So Squid's going for the zip with this item 1 in the second screen. That item 1 has such a short duration. It looks like Squid's going to choose to not go for the zip. He gave it one try, and he's going to move on. That's not a bad plan, but we did see that Charlie got the zip, so Charlie gained some time there for sure.
And he gains some more time by fighting Heatman with a pretty strong metal weakness. So right now, Charlieboy is just wound up catching quite a bit of time on Squidman thanks to some of his good play on Crashman stage.
One thing in Squidman's sort of favor is that he is using item 1 to get past all of the elevators. And so the elevator rooms go by really quickly, but the zip is still faster than even doing that.
So we got Charlieboy doing what I suspected was going to happen. He's going to go to do Woodman stage next, hoping to find item 3 here so he can possibly have a little bit of advantage in Heatman stage.
Yeah, I think that's a good move too. Item 3 in Heat is really crucial so that you can get the zip there. Having to go through the regular path, the vanilla path in Heat, is terrifying because not knowing what the enemies are, it can really be difficult.
Yeah, Heatman is one of those stages where, depending on the enemy types, it could be they can have a couple of really brutal stretches. Look like Charlieboy's gonna try to do the item 1 zip over here in this second screen, but unfortunately we got a very repeating enemy in these prop tops that are just getting it.
Oh.
But Charlieboy still makes the secondary zip. Even in harsh conditions, he was able to do so.
And Squid is fishing for a weapon against Heatman.
If he has Metal Blades.
He does have Metal Blade, he's just finding it now. So these are the kinds of things that you want to take notes on when you're playing the randomizer, because you've played so many randomizers that everything kind of blends together. So I know when I find a weakness on a Robot Master, I write it down.
Meanwhile, Charlieboy is struggling, trying to continue on with the good wood, trying to do the Buster version. He's trying to clip the ladder and fire at the same time so he can get a little bit of a vertical clip so he can get onto the ceiling and continue to zip that way. It took quite a little bit of time before he was able to get it. So I'm not sure he's going to be saving not so much time trying to do this good wood in this variation, assuming we get picture.
Yeah, this is really interesting that Squid is on the same stage now. Okay, Charlie is at the boss now. It is Metal Man not weak to Buster.
Looks like
we'll see what Squid goes for here and once he gets past the hot dogs. If he's going to try to execute the good wood.
Nah, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to go with vanilla. I don't think he trusts the item 1. But yeah, we found Metal Man pretty much doing some deforestation, some eco-terrorism in Woodman stage. But
you're right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stuff.
No, you're right. Squidman is not going to do the zip. He's going to run through the treehouse here. The treehouse doesn't look too bad. It's got Metroids and bats, which is pretty manageable. Yeah, he just runs most of the way through.
Yeah, there could be worse enemies in this stretch. Even Metroids can be feasible in this area, as Charlieboy is just getting beaten up by these monkeys.
Yeah, there we go. Charlie using an E-Tank there. I was going to say Charlie's health is a little bit too low for comfort. Squid's taking a lot of damage as well. Let's see what happens in the last run up to the door for Squid. He's going to go for the item 2.
Actually,
that was a nice item too.
This puts another scenario into question because I'm looking at the Robot Master defeated. I know where item 3 is, and just like the last stage, is not in a place where they want it to be.
No, what is up with these locked stages? E-Tank Squid. There you go.
Yeah, for those that don't know what we're talking about, Item 3 is going to be in Heatman stage.
And they want it for Heatman stage, so yeah.
We're going to be, for the most part, zipless.
And they can't even back it up with Item 1 and try to do the zip that way, because this Item 1 won't let them do it.
So we got Squidman actually first in Heatman stage, so right now we confirm that Squid has a slight advantage over Charlieboy as he starts at Heatman stage.
And Charlie found a soft weakness for Quickman, which is really nice, because that Quickman was tough, so finding any weakness at all is really good.
And of course he gets Item 2 for his trouble from beating that stage. So these guys are not too far from each other yet again. These two have been going at each other's throats in these two matches, but right now Squidman still has the 1-game lead, so Charlieboy needs to pick up the pace.
Mega Man's toes on Squidman's side must be smoking from almost hitting the lava there. He didn't want to hit the health that had fallen down in the lava because that'll just get you stuck down there and then your iframes wear out and you die. But he was pause buffering to ditch the health, but your iframes wear out while your pause buffer as well, so it was dangerous no matter what he did. And I don't know how he survived, but he did.
And it looked like we're doing some rabbit hunting. Got a whole bunch of rabbits in this long stretch before their Yoku block fly. Both of these guys do have Item 2, so we're going to be skipping these Yokus.
Yep, and Squid making pretty fast work through that section with the Item 1. If the Item 1 is not very good, at least you can use it.
Yeah, Item 1, even if it's not a very good Item 1, it's still very useful for skipping a lot of the general platforming in this particular stretch of Heatman stage. So having Item 1 is actually just as good. So guys, Squidman first to find out who's in Heat. Of course, we only got one boss left, and it's Bubble Man.
And he's not Buster weak, but with Bubble Man, that's one of the Robot Masters that you sort of want to not be Buster weak, unless it's Huggles. Because for those of you that may not know, you get 4 Robot Masters that are weak to the Buster and 4 that are just vanilla. They only take 2 damage. And so Charlie's doing a little fishing here.
Well, while Charlieboy fishes, Squidman is on his way to a Wally 1. So, of course, that means it's time for our favoriteest game in the whole wide world. Everybody, it's time to yet again guess the color of our Mecha Dragon, and as always, for that glorious extra credit, guess that weakness. I think it's time for me to start and do my most favorite color pick. Can I get a monochrome dragon? Any kind of shades of grays, blacks, and whites. Doesn't matter where, just want a monochrome dragon. And our weakness is actually gonna be, we're gonna go heat this time.
Okay, I'm going to partially agree with you. I'm going to go with that Blue Eyes White Dragon. That means white dragon with blue highlights of some sort, like the legs or something like that, because the eyes can't be blue. And for the weakness, we're going to pick an awful weakness. It's going to be Leaf Shield.
So we got both our boys starting off at Wally 1. Charlieboy not too far behind, probably about half a stage as he got started, while Squidman just probably about several seconds head start. So we're gonna see what's up here on our ladder, and yeah, I was probably expecting he might use Flash here. That particular ladder that Squidman is climbing can be very trolly depending on the enemy set. Bats are somewhat manageable, but there are worse enemies that could be there, like rabbits.
Oh yeah, frogs,
worms. Yeah, frogs. Jomex. So yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, it's Indigo.
Kind of found these dab blasts in different screens. Well, it's not Buster Week. It's not Metal. The dive continues. Is it Crash?
It is weak to Crash, yes.
He decides to just spam the crash bombs. If he probably would have at least tried, we could have seen the explosion duration. Depending on what the seed gives, the explosion duration of the crash bomb is randomized, and if it's a good long explosion, you could have the potential to one-shot the dragon. But let's see what Charlieboy decides to do. He decided to go second page as well, so he will find that crash bomb weakness.
It's a very speedy crash bomb. There was the explosion right at the end. It does blow up a bunch. It doesn't just disappear. So that's a pretty good crash bomb, although it is expensive. The ammo gets burnt pretty fast.
The ammo consumption for the weapons being randomized, and that's for every weapon.
And the timer on the explosion is long. Squidman chesting the walls here. Ooh, it's quick boomerang for the walls. So Squidman got out of there pretty quickly, and now he knows the weakness.
And I'm expecting Charlieboy to forgo taking wall weaknesses, waiting for Boo Beams to do that. And we got vanilla modes in the stretch of Wily 2, but with that added bonus of lag Fabians along the way. This is a really, really crowded Wily 2 stretch.
Yeah, this is tough because the drills don't go away like they should in like they do in vanilla, and so in this stretch the drills stay with you all the way down this hallway.
It's not too surprising to see anyone accumulate a lot of damage just trying to bull rush right through the area to get out of that stretch as quick as possible. Squidman being experienced, taking his time, making sure he's managing his health, and right now he's the first one to find out our weaknesses for Pico Pico.
Oh, it's quick again. So last seed, air was a really great weapon, useful in a lot of situations. It looks like the quick boomerang is pretty useful in this one, at least late game.
And as we can look on Charlieboy's end, it's pretty much as what I was talking about, just literally bull rushing that stretch just to get out there as soon as possible, taking a lot of damage and using what seems to be his final E-Tank right now. So Charlieboy is going to be strapped on E-Tanks for quite a bit, unless he decides to take a detour and try to get E-Tank somewhere later on as Squidman beats Pico Pico. Charlieboy fits for weaknesses, eventually settling on quick boomerangs as well, so his fight shouldn't take too long as Squidman begins his dive in Wally 3.
Ooh, that's some very bright water. I don't know how you make water look like that.
Coloring the extract, bubblegum, watermelon, you name it. Let your imagination run wild. But yeah, Wally 3, although we did see it on this seed, can have a little bit of surprise danger factor. This is one of those stages where fat fans can be a real nuisance if you don't know how to handle underwater physics with them. But fortunately, in Squidman's case, and by conjunction Charlieboy as well, they don't have to deal with any of that, because fat fans are easily public enemy number 1 in Wally 3.
The drills are a nice surprise too.
Honestly, I find the drills rather work compared to some other enemies in a way. And quick boomerang yet again doing work. Vanilla weakness this time on the guts tank.
Alright, well, it's far from over because we saw last race. A lot of things can happen in Wily 4, and so we're not out of the woods yet.
Hopefully we could actually see some activity in our moving platform rooms. Last seed, there was literally nothing there. Of course, that didn't stop Charlieboy from dying back then, but sometimes, you know. the level, we're gonna have Squidman try to do the vertical wrap as well, and successfully utilizes it, and we skip ourselves a fake platform area.
And Charlie found Quick Boomerang as well, so he's moving on to Wily 4.
Alright, are we actually gonna have enemies in these anxiety rooms this time around? Yes, we do! And
We've got gears and tin cans.
The gears are gonna be particularly interesting, especially if they summon on the right side after this particular room, because you will not be able to stay safe on the ladder. You will get knocked off, so you better have at least some item 1 in order to keep going. But looks like they're safe.
Squidman near vanilla here.
Yeah, Squidman still opts to knock himself down and take damage on the tellies and utilize item 1 to get by that area relatively clean.
I like how Squid was really careful there before just jumping down onto the gear or trying to jump really close to the side of the platform where that tin can was. He made sure that he was going to get hit by the tin can, because the tin cans do a lot less damage, so that's what he wanted to get hit by. But that's the experience right there. Like, okay, let's take 2 seconds and make sure that this happens the way I want it to.
Charlieboy opted to not try to do the vertical wrap. I wonder, he might not have trusted his item 3 ammo. But right now the shot made...
Boo beams are metal weak, so one of the good weaknesses here.
Yeah, just took a brief pick on that side. And when you get weaknesses like that, you don't even have to worry about wall weak at all. Having the knowledge is good, but having the knowledge not to even use it is even better. So right now, Squidman is pretty much... He got quite a bit of a lead on Charlieboy here, who is, at this point, is desperate for not Charlieboy himself, but Squidman to make a mistake. Because right now, this is Squidman's race to lose. I'm almost willing to say that.
And I think Squid is also doing pretty well in the E-Tank department. I think he's got 2 or 3. So he should be in a pretty good position here.
Is probably going to take a Buster Immune Wily Machine and some troll weaknesses to at least try to slow him down. Charlieboy is going to try for the Wily
he was saving his item 3 for this zip.
He's almost there.
Wiggle. There we go.
Yep, that's his success. That's quite a bit of time save. And he does check for the God weaknesses.
Yeah, and he's got the metal blade right there. Is he still in the walls? Yeah. So, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't even remember him seeing that he overzipped. It looked like he made it clean.
Well, he was still in the wall when he started throwing the first metal blade, and then he might have hit a boo beam or a bullet, and it kept him in the walls or something. I don't know. I really can't explain what just happened there.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna really have to look back, because if what happened is what I think happened, he could have taken the boo beam. It made him turn to the left, which allowed the zip to continue, and as a result, he wound up getting stuck in an area where he can't continue to fight, because if he overzips, you can't fire your weapons. You're pretty much at the mercy of boo beam. And with very little items, Charlieboy is at the mercy of these moving platforms. Well, while Charlieboy tries to catch up, or at least try to beat Wily 4, Squidman is he's just putting on a clinic in these refights, already at the Wily machine. Which is Buster Week again.
And it's Buster Week. I was hoping to see something interesting, because I was pretty sure Squid would still make it through. I wouldn't jinx him or anything, but I was like, well, it'd be neat to see a different Wily machine here.
We can always dream. But Squidman, on his way to Victory Road, back to secure his spot in the losers finals. unless some divine act of nature happens, Squidman pretty much just sealed the deal. So just a hop, skip, and a little stroll right under the acid plains of the Wally Caves, and we're about to have our alien fight. Alrighty, Wally Alien, show us your true form and what you are weak to.
Depending on the weakness here, Squidman might end up with a really nice time.
Second page gambit yet again. Second page works.
Crash bombs, yeah. Oh, wow, and it's really effective. Wow. Squidman with an SRL time of 30:43. That is a really fast time. That's better than my PB. Now I'm scared.
Yeah. When you reach the area of 30s, I mean literal 30s, you're doing something right. You're doing something right in these random races.
And considering that the item 1 wasn't friendly in this one, and item 3 was locked, that's a fantastic time.
Not to discredit Charlieboy, Charlieboy did really good in these races. It's just some unfortunate situation that just kept plaguing him that wound up being the difference maker in even finishing these runs. But with that, it's another 2-0 in the books. Squidman has earned the right to go to losers finals, where he's gonna be facing my co-commentator Stuff and Things for the right to face Metalo in the grand finals.
And I think Squidman is here.
GG's to you, Squidman.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that was a really nice second race. We were just saying how any time in the 30s and SRL showing a 30:43, that's a really good time.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Once again, I was cursed with terrible item 1s. I don't know how it keeps happening, but it does.
Yeah, that item 1 was pretty awful. It was short and it didn't move much, so that was kind of useless. And then you had an item 3 lock as well.
Yes.
So I don't know how you got a 30 with that item set, but you did.
Yeah, the item 3 was in heat, which kind of sucked. I should have gone to heat first, but I didn't want to. I was like, do I go to heat first without item 3, and then go to wood and try to do good wood, and risk not having quick, because I really can't do the 1 frame ladder grab very well, and so I decided to go to wood first. So yeah, ended up frustrating.
Well, speaking of locked items, both seed had locked items in the worst possible areas. Of course, we know that item 3 was locked in Heatman in this seed, but item 1 was locked in Crash in the first seed as well.
Oh yes, it was. So yeah, we ended up having to do the Crash elevator rooms in both seeds. Well, the item 1 was not very good for that. I tried to zip, but it didn't work. So
yeah, Charlieboy ended up doing the first screen Crash zip, even with that very questionable item 1. So he did put a little bit up on time on you, but just some unfortunate situations as the race went on just put Charlieboy quite behind.
yeah, the I can't really do the first screen item 1 on Crash, and I think if you don't really get it the first try, it ends up almost being not worth it. You get like maybe a couple of tries, and then you're almost basically losing time. So if I'm not used to it and I'm not good at it, then I might as well not go for it.
Yeah, I think that was a good move, because since you did have item 1 and it was, it moved up at least a little bit, it was useful for going through the elevator rooms, and you had good enemies in there, so you still made the elevator rooms go by really fast.
Yeah, the enemies were pretty generous this seed for the most part. I don't think there was too much trouble actually in any of the stages. Yeah, I can't really think of any stages that had too much trouble. The first seed, there was definitely some trouble.
There were some birds.
A couple of birds. Birds are jerks.
But yeah, keeping pace with Charlieboy, he's about to finish his run. He's about to face the alien, and What weapon is that? Yep, he went straight to Crash.
Straight to that page too.
But GG's to Charlieboy as he finishes with an official time of 35 minutes and 7 seconds. So GG's to Charlieboy, but unfortunately that is still a losing time. As we just mentioned that Squidman wins 2-0. Gonna see
it was a good rematch. I got my revenge. For Charlieboy beating me the first time. We faced each other in the winner's bracket. I think we were the first ones to race. And he knocked me out, so.
Gonna see if we can get Charlieboy in for his interview as well. If I can give myself a moment. Oh, never mind. There we go. We got Charlie.
There he is.
In the Discord right now. GG, Charlieboy.
GG's, guys.
Hey, Charlie.
What up? GG Squid.
Yep. GG's.
No.
So Charlieboy, I know there's probably a lot of stuff you want to go over, but I think we should get the pink elephant out in the room right now and just come out with the question that's pretty much been bothering at least me, and I know Stubbs probably wondering about it as well. What happened in that what happened in that boo beam fight in this scene? What happened?
Yeah.
I overzipped. Like, I found metal right off the bat, but then I took damage against one of the boo beams somehow. Or no, I think I got hit by the shot. And when I did, I wasn't able to control Mega Man, or in this case, Proto Man, turn him right to stop him from zipping. And unfortunately, the way I got hit left. So, since I was damaged and in iframes, it ended up zipping me one more time around, and I couldn't do the fight because I was too far. If you overzip there, you can't damage. Like, I think you can damage, but you have to be like really like right on the object for one thing, and for another thing, I don't know. I think it's only like heat that does it, and maybe metal. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Regardless, it sucks. I mean, I feel like I was doing all right, and then yeah.
Yeah, so Creed, you were right. Creed did say that he thought that you got hit by something and that it forced you to turn left and it caused you to zip more. So I think that was the answer.
Yeah, just pretty much just to confirm what happened. But overall, both of y'all were really on each other. I mean, speaking at least for the first seed, y'all were pretty much stride for stride going to the alien. It was pretty much almost just depending on the gamble of going to the first page or second page, but of course,
and not giving the alien a big old smoocheroo, right?
Hey, did you kiss the alien?
I damn sure did.
Those hugs.
I'm sorry, but yeah, no, that sucked.
So we must have gone death for death then, because that first seed tilted me so hard.
I mean, I want to say I might have died somewhere else in the seed, like once or twice, but I don't think it took too much time. I didn't. Well, no. Okay, take that back. I died on Spike Screen 3. Screen to do. In the first seed. So like, what happened was I usually make sure to get enough item to ride across, and there was no enemies in that room, which you shouldn't die there if there's nobody there.
Oh jeez.
But yeah.
Don't worry. I don't know if you were gonna rewatch this or not, so maybe I shouldn't spoil what happened to me.
I probably will, but no, go ahead.
I died to Pico.
Oh yeah.
I did not realize how many shots it took. I think the weakness was metal and air, and I tried metal first and didn't realize how many shots it took, and yeah. I was like inside the Pico and panicking and just got killed.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I didn't have the item 2 to ride across, and I I don't even know exactly what I had enough. I had 2 shots of item 1 left, and I thought I'd be cool, and and try to use them after riding the elevator a little bit. I dropped down on the elevator, and instead of waiting for it to go around and like jump on the platform and then jump around, I used item 1 and I placed one of them low, and I couldn't reach the top, and then I was gonna try to pause buffer to save it. I did try to pause buffer a little bit to save it, but I felt like I was taking too much time, and I think I lost my race to Kumba doing that, so I went ahead and jumped in the spikes and then went to the screen again. And so that's what happened. I think it was race 1 in that room, and then yeah, race 2 I overzipped in my lead 4, which cost me the race. Or I guess, I mean, heck, you might have been ahead by that point. But ain't no telling.
Yeah, I don't do the zip to boo beam because I don't trust myself to not overzip that one.
See, I normally don't overzip. That's the thing. I was in the fight and I got hit, and I normally don't get hit, but this time I did. So hey, I mean, I came in kind of exhausted as well. I mean, no excuses, I mean, Squid.
Oh, we didn't have to schedule for tonight.
I know. well, I didn't know I would have to do what I had to end up doing today, but it happens.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it just all of a sudden came up, so I had to do some work outside and stuff like that. But yeah, I got in a quick nap before, so I felt all right racing. I didn't feel like too terribly bad. Maybe my gameplay reflected it differently. I don't know, either that or it was just the seeds, and I'm sure that could have happened to anybody. But yeah, good. I
blame Roll-chan.
Blame Roll-chan. It's all
her
fault.
It's Roll-chan's fault.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, we didn't do too bad. Or I didn't do too bad. And yeah, I mean, like I was saying in the last race I played, Squid usually beats me, so nothing new here.
I don't know. You put up a good fight in the first matchup we had, so I was actually sure. I was sure it was going to go to 3 games. Actually, especially with the first seed was being so awful to us.
Yeah, that first race was really interesting. We went back and forth a bunch of times. We enjoyed watching it.
Oh, that's good. Well, if it was entertaining to the audience, then job well done.
Yeah, as long as it was a good race, man. Well, Stuff, looks like you get your wish, man. You get to fight your buddy Squidman.
Wait. What's this? I'm fighting some jerk?
Wow. Ooh, wow. The gauntlets are off.
Let's hear it.
Ooh.
Cut the promos right now. Stuff
Cut the promos.
Squidman.
All
right.
What's happening?
Right, make the poster.
You ready to race right now?
Squid versus Stuff.
Squid versus Stuff matchup. Ooh, somebody got to make that into like one of those boxing match posters.
That's what I say. Make the poster.
Yeah.
Stuff is trying
you know how they do the thing where they weigh in and they glare at each other. We need to have a video of that, like us, like all scrawny, like. I
like it. That's perfect.
Be like Stuff is going squid fishing. How to catch a squid. That's what my practice streams were gonna be named, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Squid fishing?
Yeah,
you're just asking for bad karma.
You got to catch the squid, and today, I let him get away. I caught him last time. Today, I let him get away. But yeah, no, GG's, guys. Looks like
thanks for the races.
So that puts me in 4th place. Looks like Squid and Stuff's gonna battle to see who fights Metalo in grand finals.
Yep.
Next match, Squid versus Stuff. That's gonna be losers finals. So
all right.
You guys are ready to schedule it. We'll get it on the schedule. We'll get it raced, and then best of luck to the both of you.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and I want to say thanks to all the folks at SpeedGaming for helping do this. Thanks Charlieboy for organizing this tournament. Thanks to the 2 of you. Some good races, and I had fun here with Creed doing the commentary.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, we enjoy doing these things. We enjoy watching as much as we do playing. So watching these guys go at it was a treat for the both of us, and both of y'all did great.
Thank you, Creed.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate you guys commentating. Shout outs to Speed Gaming, as always, for allowing us to race and do our tournament on their network. And yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, I'm getting out of here.
Yep, same here. Unless you get some other stuff to ask, I think we'll see y'all later.
Yeah, I pretty much think that's gonna do it for us. So for Speed Gaming, for stuffy things like co-commentator, this is LV Creed. Wait for the next time where we do schedule our losers final match between Stuff and Squid. And until then, we shall see you all later. So have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, there you go. GG's.